Hi, I'm Sarah Desiderio, the social media manager for College Fashionista, here with Monica Betty, who's the digital marketing coordinator at VS Pink, and we're going to talk all about what it's really like to work in the social media industry. So next up, we have some questions from our community going along with the whole topic of social media. So first off, what editing apps or software do you use, or swear by at least?
Yeah, so with VS Pink, we actually have a photo team that actually manages all of our assets, and they are great. But then personally, like, I love ViscoCam, I love Facetune, I love Microsoft Selfie, I love Unum. And speaking of grids, like we've been talking about, like I love Unum because I could like plan out my Instagram feed. So I love that app for that. But no, I think there's so many other great apps out there, but those definitely bubble up to the top of like my most used.
What are some tips that you took to make yourself really stand out in the fashion industry, especially because it's so competitive?
Oh my God, there's so many things. And a lot of them might seem a little cliche, but it's just so true, is like definitely like working hard and taking everything that you do and making bigger. You know, like let's say you're asked something, like let's say you're asked to do like a 2-page like report, do like a 6-page report if it really makes sense, you know, just go above and beyond in like all of your work, I think is number one. I think number two is like seeking opportunities. Like if you're at an internship or a job and you see that there's an opportunity for like efficiency or something cool that you think you can do, like speak up, you know, and make magic happen. So I think that's another thing too, is like seeking opportunities. And I think thirdly is really just staying hungry. You know, I mean, I definitely, just like how you mentioned, like we've made sacrifices in our lives, you know, I've missed some pool parties in my time, you know, and it really does pay off in the end when you do kind of prioritize like your career and you prioritize what you want to do, and you really just take kind of like a backseat to other things in your life to really prioritize what you want. And I feel like if you have that mindset, you'll definitely get there.
And then last we have some rapid fire questions, but not too rapid fire, so don't sweat
it. I'm ready.
So what skills have been vital to your success?
I think there's been so many skills that have been vital to my success, but my manager has really been instrumental in kind of like shaping my career and giving me these little, almost like isms, how we're talking about, of like things that really could like help shape my career and really give me the skill sets to like go to next. And I think one thing is definitely like if you feel overwhelmed, like what you need to do is like come in early or stay later. Like it really does make a difference. Even if it's 15 minutes earlier or 15 minutes later, like it really makes a difference. Like there's no need to like make excuses like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. It's kind of like, well, what can you do better? Or how can you prioritize your time better? So that's one thing. And then speaking of priorities, one time she told me that sometimes what's a priority to you isn't a priority to other people. And I feel like that really connected with me because it helped me work better with like cross-functional partners. Because I would be like, why isn't this person emailing me back? Like I emailed them like 2 hours ago, you know? So it's kind of just like understanding that like sometimes your priorities aren't other people's priorities. So it's kind of like that's how you can work better with partners if you have that understanding. So I think that's something too, is just working with people is just something that's so important in your career, and understanding different like working styles, and also just making your request more urgent. Like maybe if it is urgent, like tell them, like they can't read your mind, you know, over an email. Be like, hey, can I have this by end of day at 2 p.m. because I need it for X, Y, and Z, as opposed to like, hey, can I have this by end of day? You know, it's kind of like you want to give context. So I think that has helped me as well. And then I think another ism that she gave me was done is better than perfect. And that kind of helps with like time efficiency, because I feel like I've always been like a perfectionist my whole life. I'm like, I'll spend like 3 hours on this, but I'm like, if I have other things to do, like maybe this should only take 30 minutes of my time instead of like 3 hours. And that really helps with just like managing things and going back to time management, is like when you can like just get stuff done instead of making it perfect, you really like excel in your career, because it's like you get to take on more opportunities and manage more.
What excites you most about your job?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. What excites me most about my job? I think collaboration at my job. I definitely get to be an idea leader, and I get to present ideas all the time. And I think that's something that makes my job so enjoyable, is because I feel like I love being like an idea machine. And I feel like at my job, everyone's so receptive to ideas because it's such a creative place. So I love that. And I also love to travel. I do a lot of live event coverage for the brand, and I think that's always exciting, taking something and bringing it to like a nationwide audience. Like it's so cool. Like I get to Snapchat for the brand, and like millions of people see that, you know, or like Instagram stories, like I'm at this awesome event Pink's doing, and like I get to bring that to life for like a girl who might be in London, just like on her Instagram stories one day, her Snapchat, and she sees that, and it's like I have that kind of like influence, and I think that's just so impactful. So it's like fun doing it, but then it's also just pausing and realizing like, whoa, like I just touched like 8 million people.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned in your role?
The biggest thing that I've learned in my role, I think it's just that social media is a lot tougher than expected, and it also takes a lot more time than expected. Because I mean, to be honest, like when I first started social media, I was like, oh, this is just fun. Because like I was like, I love MySpace, I love Facebook, I love Twitter, but it really does take a lot of strategic thinking, and it also requires a lot of time outside of the office as well, because it is like a 24/7 job. Like I do have to work weekends sometimes. Sometimes I have to work nights. I mean, I thrive off of it, you know. But it's like just that awareness that like sometimes, you know, like we might have like an awesome like Christmas Day post and like I have to wake up a little early on Christmas Day, you know. I mean, granted I'm like waking up for Santa Claus, but you know, coincidentally I might also have to post for my job. But I think that's awareness too of that. And then like I mentioned before, it's like keeping up with the Kardashians, like keeping up with social, like you like break a sweat, you know, trying to keep up. Always changing. But like I mentioned, it's super exciting.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. And our community is obsessed with social media, so it's so exciting to really get insight into what it takes to do it as a career, because what's more of a dream job than spending your day literally on the platforms you already spend your day on. But thank you again so much, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
If you have any questions for Monica or about working in social media, just email us at membership@collegefashionista.com.